not. However, this episode felt more like Star Wars. And then who directed it? Of course, it was Dave Filoni. I mean, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the Bad Batch, I mean, I loved the Clone Wars. And Dave Filoni, to me, when you hear him talk about Star Wars, Dave Filoni, you can tell that he's all in, that he gets it. He knows what Star Wars is. I don't know if you ever seen behind the scenes of like the Mandalorian show when all the directors are like talking. When Dave Filoni talks and he's talking about Duel of the Fates, I'm telling you, like this dude knows. It's a really good. You see why it was a really good choice for George Lucas to pick him, and that George knows what he's doing as well. But yeah, I mean, this episode had so many surprises. And yes, spoiler alert, obviously, guys, if you do not want anything to be spoiled, or gals, everybody, if you guys do not want anything to be spoiled, just hop right off and come back later because this is definitely going to have some spoiler talk. I cannot talk about this episode without spoilers because of just how well rounded and everything is interconnected in this. We see where we left off from the last episode with Mando going looking for Grogu, and he ends up on the planet that is in The Last Jedi that we saw with Luke and his Jedi school. And it's just being built. It's incredible. You're just like, what, man? And then after that, you see none other than in my thumbnail is Ahsoka. And you're like, wait, what? Ahsoka's with Luke? And you just start having I had so many questions. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was just like, man, I have so many questions. Like, Luke was probably picking her brain of what his father was like beforehand. And when she said that one line, so much like your father, you're like, yo, that's crazy. But I'm really hoping. I'm one of those geeks that I'm really hoping that some way, somehow, whether they do that world between worlds thing that Ezra saved Ahsoka, I'm hoping that they go back there so we can totally reboot the last trilogy. That I think that would be great. And it's a great way to do it, especially that you have all this buildup with Luke Skywalker and whatnot. I just feel still with The Last Jedi, it wasn't giving it justice. However, I digress. But if you this whole thing with Grogu is really fascinating because you see that he's learning the ways from the Force with Luke, but he's saying that he's like, it's hard. It's hard for him to train him. And then not only that, you saw the flashback that he was alive during the Clone Wars. You saw the clones turn on the Jedis in front of him. It was, I guess, suppressed memories. And it's really amazing to see how Dave Filoni just does these things, man. It's storytelling 101. And I love that everything is getting connected. But I do feel like this is not the book of Boba Fett. Me and Marcus, my buddy Marcus McGill, you seen him on my Geekly discussion. And Marcus, thank you for commenting. I will shout out my other commenters at the end of this video. But me and Marcus were talking about it. And he loved the other episodes, but I feel like this is not the book of Boba Fett. This was The Mandalorian episode 1. Actually, you know what? Who said that? Is one of my commenters. I gotta give him credit. Joe Welch, thank you. So Joe was the one that said this. So yeah, Marcus loved episode 4. Again, Marcus, thank you. And Joe, thank you for this. This is me and Joe. We are on the same wavelength. Is that episode 5 was The Mandalorian season 1, episode 1. I mean, not season 1, excuse me, season 3, episode 1. And then this definitely felt like another Mandalorian episode. This was The Mandalorian season 3, episode 2. And I really do feel that. So Joe, thank you for commenting. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I really do think that's what it is. I think the Book of Boba Fett wasn't doing well, and they had this filmed already because I don't think they will film something on the fly unless they're that good and have the resources to. I mean, it is Disney, right? But knowing how much goes into film and stuff like that, I don't think so. I think that if this was intentional, then kudos, but it doesn't seem to fit what they were the narrative of what they were trying to do with the Book of Boba Fett. So if honestly it was a part of it, I mean, I think it's weird that it's like that. However, if it's not a part of it, I could totally see where you can just take footage from The Mandalorian season 3 and just throw it in here to edit it. And that way we get some more substance, especially after episode 5 with the ratings being the highest rating on the Book of Boba Fett. Like I said, Book of Boba Fett is just weird, man. I get it. It's like him creating the Crazy Eight. It's Star Wars Crazy Eight. I get it. You're building this whole mob, you're building this mafia. I get it, but I don't know, man. Uh, yeah, and also the fact that Grogu, staying on the topic of Grogu, the fact that we see so much improvement, so little time, and then not only that, now he has a choice. He has a choice. He has a choice whether to go back to Din or stay with Luke Skywalker. And he offered Yoda's lightsaber. You hear Yoda's theme. And oh my gosh. Like the whole essence, the whole force of Star Wars is in this damn episode. And I love every single bit of it, man. But what is he going to choose? You know, there have been plenty of times we see the dark side, you know, tempting people. And I just rewatched Empire Strikes Back. And I remember when Luke asked that question to Yoda, he's like, "Is it more powerful?" He's like, "No, it's quicker, it's faster, it's easier, more tempting. It's way easier to fall to the dark side." And we're gonna see how that plays out because for years, the us fans have been Darth Yoda. We've seen statues, we've seen art on the internet, the whole nine. Could this be Grogu going to the dark side? Or someone I saw on YouTube comment on another video that Grogu may become the first one in a long time, like of the new generation, the first Mandalorian Jedi. Because remember, the one that created the dark saber was a Jedi and a Mandalorian. And I can totally see that Grogu picking Din, using the ways of the Force, and becoming the new generation's first Mandalorian Jedi. I saw that and I liked it. I was like, I love that dude's comment. I loved it a lot. I thought it was great. I would love to see more Ahsoka and Luke together. I really would. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal to see, you know, Luke showing his power and almost like an anime. I'm such a huge anime nerd. You know how like when Naruto saved people and they saw his back and then it was like the transparent of the fourth Hokage over him and they're like the fourth. That would be dope that Ahsoka sees how powerful Luke is and then is like a silhouette of a transparent silhouette of Anakin Skywalker. I think that'd be hella dope. But not only that, speaking of interconnectedness, so Cobb Vanth is back. I loved the showdown. I love the Wild West. You heard me in my few other episodes. You heard me talk about how Boba Fett is supposed to be like Clint Eastwood. And you have Cobb Vanth in there, and then he stares down what? Cad Bane. Oh my gosh. I was like, dude, what? And then on top of that, this is I try to remember from Rebels and whatnot, Cad Bane. However, at first, when he's walking in the desert, all I could think about with the hat and all, I was like, hell no, man. All I could think about is Clint Eastwood and the good and the bad and the ugly. All I could think of that. And I was like, yo, and then the whole with their hand on their gun, and they're just like ready. And I knew that deputy was gonna mess it up. I knew it. I knew he was gonna mess it up. I was like, "You're gonna get everyone killed." And sure enough, pew, 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 just like an old western. And I love that not only was like an old western, but it's definitely it was like I don't know how to say it. It was like a Star Wars western though. It's not like, oh, it's a western that's Star Wars. It felt like a Star Wars western. And especially that Cad Bane's face, man, looked dope. And Dave Filoni, I love how he always says, to make it realistic. And he was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that was phenomenal how he's doing all this. If anything, I know that everyone was saying to have I said it in the last video. I forgot what's her breath. Bryce Dallas Howard to direct the last Star Wars. I mean, sorry, not last, new Star Wars films. But if anyone deserves that shot, I think it's Dave Filoni. I think Dave Filoni he has it. He definitely has it. I really do feel that Dave Filoni and a couple of others, they just know what Star Wars is all about, and they should definitely get a shot. But yeah, I am super stoked of the future of the Mandalorian. I'm not stoked about Boba Fett. I don't think this really does. Like I said in my last video, it doesn't carry the weight off his back. We have one more episode. What really happened in the book of Boba Fett? Besides these last two episodes, right? I mean, I don't think much has happened. But with these last two, with this episode and the last episode, I honestly think that it's a great segue to the build up to the Mandalorian season 3. I think that's where it's going to be at. I think that's where most of their success is going to be. And I can't wait to see those stories intertwine. If Cad Bane and Boba Fett don't settle their beef in because it's not even beef. He has more on Ferric. However, it's the old mentor student thing. Is Cad Bane gonna try to get Boba Fett back? What's going to happen? I don't think that's all going to be settled in this last episode, to be honest with you. However, I don't know where that story goes, if that transitions into the Mandalorian or does that transition into something else. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited to see the next episode. They left on that cliffhanger of Grogu with his choice and Luke trying to create the school and have his first student. And I hope that if they don't reboot it in the way that I said, I just hope that we see what happens to Grogu. Does Grogu end up protecting everyone against um, Kylo Ren? And if not, then where is he? I would love to see like that. Like I said, I love the interconnectedness of the whole story. Dave Filoni did a hell of a job. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, what do you think? What was your favorite part of The Mandalorian? Also, what do you think Grogu's going to do? Do you think he's going to become a Mandalorian, or do you think he's going to stick to a Jedi? Yeah, and then not only that, like I said, let me go ahead and shout out my commenters again. Joe, we're right here, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Marcus, as always, love you, brother. Can't wait to start the Geekly discussions again. And then not only that, Chris, Chris, man, Chris Hames, good friend of mine, way back. We used to make music. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you for commenting. And as always, guys, if you love this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell button for all the notifications of when my videos are up. And then not only that, whatever you would like to see me review, I love reviewing movies and video games and all this other jazz. Just leave a comment below and let me know what you think. All right. Love you. Be safe. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace.